Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club, have we got a movie for you today? This week, Amy made us revisit her childhood with a big bus from 1976, when she was probably 9 or 10. Is that right? I am Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, is Joel. It says Joel.
Yeah.
Amy Goldman. Oh, the other computer.
Yeah, I did just realized it before you said it.
Amy decided she needed a gauzy look.
No,
as she's getting older.
it looks terrible.
Annie King. Good morning. And Mark Wotitz Gartner, who does not have a picture up. All right, Aim. Why the big bus?
Well, I think this is the last one of my 1976 year of watching movies. This goes along with Silent Movie, Bad News Bears,
Right.
and there was one other one. So I figured I haven't watched it in 45 years. Revisit it.
The you really should call the Avon and ask them what their schedule was that year, so we could watch all the other ones.
Well, you said that in the text, and I went to their page, and it said history, and I said, "Oh my God!" But
No, it's a history of the theater building, not what they've shown.
Not
I actually might be able to find that for you.
Oh my God, that would be great.
I'll see what I can do.
Right, because you kept your little journals with dates. And
No.
right?
That I didn't start that journal till college.
He was 7 years old.
Who knows?
I would have been 7, and we weren't quite in Stamford at that point. However, there's a Facebook group I belong to that is about the history of Stamford, and every so often they post old advertisements from the movie theaters in town from various years, and I'm able to contact the guy who runs it and say, hey, you wouldn't happen to have
the Avon Theater
listings for the entire year of 1976.
I think that would be very funny. All right, well, here's the plot of the big bus. It's the first bus that runs on nuclear energy and embarks on a disaster-ridden maiden journey on a maiden voyage.
Joel, don't you just want to go nuclear? It's pronounced nuclear.
Nuclear.
Is it nuclear? What did I say?
No, you said it correctly. It's Homer says it.
And they're going on a maiden journey from New York to Denver.
It's anarchy.
And a mysterious organization with links to the oil lobby, it's 1976, is determined that the trip goes wrong in every imaginable way. Not only is it the oil companies, but it's also a bicentennial inaugural trip because it's 1976. The cast has some very recognizable faces, mostly from TV. They're mostly TV people. Producers Michael and Julia Phillips won an Oscar for The Sting. David Shire is a very noteworthy composer, and Harry Stradling is one of the master cinematographers. They all worked on this movie.
And now they're all dead.
What went wrong? Well, basically, it's just all silliness. There's so much ridiculousness in this movie, really. I did smile a bit. I did not LOL or big LOL. LMAOAL, LMLP. The first thing was funny to me that, they were obviously in New York, probably 9th Avenue. They're going uptown, probably 9th Avenue. And the very next shot, they're in the wilds of New Jersey. Like, how quickly does this bus go? And he says at one point that they're going 52 miles an hour. I'm like, 52 miles an hour, it's going to take you 26 hours to get to Denver. How is that a good thing? And of course, the funny thing, there's a bowling alley, there's a pool, the dining room. And they did kind of try to make almost the width of a bus. This bus that we see, this 2-story double-decker, it must have played much funnier to a 10-year-old Amy Goldman.
Probably.
I mean, some of the jokes are even topical, so that kind of gets lost. And that 2001 theme of the bus rolling out of the thing, I'm like, yeah, that's overplayed. Even then, I'm sure it was. for me, it's just light years away from what actually could have been funny. But I read that the New York Times gave it a good review. What were they thinking? Well, it wasn't the regular reviewer I looked. It was like some guy I never heard of. So, and and this is 5 years before Airplane, but this movie should not even be mentioned in the same breath as Airplane. So wait a minute while I take a breath. All right, so I don't even have anything to say. 2 stars from me. It was a little torturous, and I see why they hired Ned Beatty for Superman. That was like the very next thing he did. So he pretty much was. I expected him to look for Lex Luthor. All right. Who in the group has already seen the movie? Joel, you've already seen it.
I had already seen the movie a couple of times. Yes.
And you like silly comedies.
Well, I like silly comedies and I like disaster movies. So,
Right.
should have been, right up my alley. And, it's entertaining. It's not the worst film I've ever seen. I've obviously seen a lot.
And that would be what? The Girl with the Pearl Earring.
Oh, yeah, I guess I always go to that one first. Yeah. This is no Girl with the Pearl Earring, but it's also no Airplane.
What did I say? Don't mention it.
Oh, sorry.
Frank, I'm going to mention it too, by the way. So,
It's not even an Airplane. It's not even an Airplane 2.
That's harsh.
I think I also saw something that said that the Zucker brothers did do some work on this movie that they came into.
No idea.
I thought I read that too, and then when it opened with the WZAZ thing on the side of whatever, I was like, oh, okay, so they were involved. And so then I looked, and it said they had nothing to do with it, despite it saying WZAZ.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I looked for them in the credits, nothing.
It's it's an 88-minute diversion. If you're looking for a journey to go on, the Big Bus is not the worst journey you could take for 88 minutes. You'll be mildly entertained. I hate the end of the film because it ends on a lame gag as opposed to trying to wrap anything up. And that just
maybe they were hoping for a sequel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What was the end again?
Where the bus breaks in half.
Oh,
after they get it back on the road, and then it just breaks in half, and amazing, the back half is still able to turn around. I
thought of that too. I was like, let's see if it turns. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. There's a separate driver.
Yeah, there's a shitload of inconsistencies even for a comedy. It's like, all right, the bus is hanging over a cliff. They've mentioned numerous times there's 180 passengers on the bus. And we only see what, maybe 40, 50 tops, and why didn't they just send them all to the back of the bus?
I said the same thing.
Yep.
I was screaming at the TV.
The Oriental Lounge jokes were old and tired and not funny.
They were old and tired then.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing this movie. So somewhere along the line I watched it.
The opening to me is very funny. And when I talk about the opening, I'm talking about the title crawl. That's, we've had the big earthquake and the big fire and the big boat sinking, and now we're on the big bus. That's mildly amusing. There are some funny jokes along the way. A few that I did actually laugh out loud at, but none that I can remember this morning because, there's other things that happened between watching the movie last night and this morning.
And Joel, didn't it kind of inspire the TV show Super Train a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely somebody looked at this movie and went, "Ooh, we could do the same thing." But Super Train is also the Love Boat on a train.
Yeah.
So, and this is also better than Super Train. So, because that was a terrible show. Anyway, I love the design of the bus. I think it's funny that they, shoved in the bowling alley, and the bicentennial dining room is like, has just enough room for 10 people around a
Right.
table, and it's got the bookcase door that, so you can't really tell where the door is. There's some funny design elements to the bus itself. It could have been a better movie if somebody had like sat down and done a rewrite somewhere along the line. But Ned Beatty's funny. So is Howard Hessman, and that weird relationship that they have in the film. It's kind of, are they lovers? I want to say yes, but you're not entirely sure. They don't really spell that out. I love watching Rene Auberjonois, but his character's so inconsistent. There's no, he's like a priest who's lost his faith, but he's annoying.
And I'm sure Amy Goldman loved Ruth Gordon.
Right.
Didn't bother me.
She didn't curse, that's why.
There you go.
As I said, I don't want to belabor the point. It's an 88-minute entertaining diversion. I've seen it a few times. I'm sure at some point I'll watch it again before I die. I'm going to give it 2 3/4 stars. It's a generous 2 3/4 stars, but yeah.
While you said quotes, I was thinking there were a couple of times when I had a really big smile, so I was looking up the quotes really quickly, skimming, and like 90% of them, let me close this, are all about the guy eating people, and that just was like enough already with the eating people and the seats.
Actually,
and all right.
The bit that I laughed the most at, because they don't give an explanation for why Larry Hagman says that they can't move Harold Gould from the parking lot, that he's too injured and he has to stay in the parking lot. But when they finally do move him, and Harold Gould's like, all right, take me back to the parking lot. That I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
And there was a line about an IUD that Sue couldn't stop laughing at. Like she just lost it. And I don't remember what it was.
Let me see if I can find it.
There you go.
IUD line from Big Bus.
I'm just gonna do a control F search of IUD.
Right.
There it is. Why did they throw me out? Why did those veterinarians disbar me? Why did they take away my dog and cat hospital? Why? Because I was ahead of my time. That's why. I was the only one who had the courage to put an IUD in a rabbit.
Right. That's what it was. For some reason, that she was on the floor. Then we were laughing because she was laughing. So
sure.
Anyway,
maybe that was it. Maybe if somebody was laughing here, I would have thought it was funnier.
Right.
Sure.
Mark G, had you seen it before?
I had never heard of it.
I had never heard of it.
And now that you've seen it.
Before I get to my review, I'll start by saying I understand why Amy picked this, and it's kind of reliving her childhood along with the Bad News Bears. I have several movies like that, including I love the Cannonball Runs, which this is kind of in the same vein of a lot of famous people, of silly race and stuff like that. So I get it. But no, I definitely did not love this one. Although I didn't hate it either. I think it was Frank. You said the word silly and ridiculous, and I think that pretty much sums it up. It was a little bit too much on that side. I'm okay with silly and ridiculous if it's funny, and it misses.
Yeah, the problem for me is not clever. I need clever, silly, ridiculous.
Yes, I would agree. And yeah, I do. I wrote down airplane as well, but yeah, it's not at airplane's level.
You didn't take the breath.
Say again?
You didn't take the breath.
Can't say it in the same breath as this stupid movie.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. For me, actually, hold on. The jokes, some of the jokes, cringeworthy and cheesy. But the opening credits and music went on too long, although that I think was also a sign of the times. That happened more. Joel and Amy. Scotty doesn't know in this one either, when he walked right into the radioactive room.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again? Scotty doesn't know this.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty was Ned Beatty. And he walked right in, just the way when he walked right into the radioactive room, I was like, oh, Scotty doesn't know here either. Wasn't the kid from The Shining's name Dan Torrance?
Yes.
Okay. But this is totally unrelated because that came out in 80, right?
Well,
I know the book was written.
The book came out in 77. Yeah. So there is that distinct, albeit remote possibility. Stephen King was like, ooh, Dan Torrance, that'd be a good name for a kid. If he watched the movie, who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And as much I do agree with the stupid eating people, but eat one lousy foot, they call you a cannibal. I did laugh at that one. Interesting trivia, everyone. Professor Baxter was 1 year younger than Joel is right now. He looked older. And he was also in Silent Movie, Amy.
You're saying I look good for my age.
Saying you look great.
Yeah.
Or he looked crappy for his age.
Well, back in
And
those
who
days,
is Professor Baxter?
Harold Gould.
Oh,
Harold Gould.
oh yeah, Harold Gould. Sure.
Yeah.
We love Harold Gould.
He
it
just
just
wasn't
reminds me
in
of
the
when we
60s
watched.
like we all thought.
Yeah, and it like when we watched The Nutty Professor 2, I forget who the old guy was there, but he was like 52, something like that. So I guess back in those days, you were grandpa by the time you were 50. So
Because they all went through the Depression and World War II. That
Yeah.
just aged everybody.
that is true.
We've only had to deal with a pandemic.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
I'll take
By
it.
the
And
Trump
that has-
administration.
That has aged you, Joel, for sure.
It definitely has.
And all I'll say is that the several people jumping that bowling ball as a sight gag was actually very impressive to me because
It was really well done.
and I'm sure it took several takes, but there's no CGI and they had to jump that bowling ball in
Yeah.
a row.
That was great.
Somebody screwed up and fell, during those takes because I'm sure they didn't do it on the first take. So I was impressed by that. Yeah, I'm never gonna watch this again, but I didn't hate it, so I'm gonna have to go with 2.5. I did giggle a few times.
And look up bloopers from The Big Bus. We can watch that.
Yeah.
Hey, King, had you seen it before?
No, never heard of it. Every time I said it to someone, they said the big bust.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a big bust. So, yeah, no, pretty much what you all said. It was, not too much to add. It was very, very silly at points. And, I did laugh a little bit. Definitely never need to see it again, kind of thing. I'm gonna go with 2.25 stars, right in between you guys. No.
That's her headline, though. The Big Bus should be called The Big Bust. I like it. All right, Aim, nostalgia time.
Yeah.
You're 10 years old, walking to the Avon.
Even though I don't remember seeing it there, I don't know where I would have seen it, but I assume there. Just like everybody else said, it's really pretty stupid, but it's like you said, what did you say? It was 88 minutes long. So to me, I could sit through most things that are 88 minutes. So 2.5 stars. I thought Richard Mulligan was terrific. He really impressed me. I just loved him.
He's always amazing.
It was so
Yeah, but
good.
wasn't that a little annoying with them jumping each other every
Yes.
5 minutes?
Yes.
It
Jumping.
wasn't funny.
I hate you. I'm gonna slap you.
The only one
And then-
time when they were at when they were at the dining room table and she threw him down and the candle was lit. I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna burn
know.
yourself.
Yeah. No, I just mean as a performer, he just did a terrific job. No wonder why he got soaked the next year. So
Oh, was that actor? Yeah.
wasn't it 77?
Oh, 77, yeah.
No. It's funny how there are just some years, some things you just always remember. I didn't even watch Soap. And speaking of which, there were moments of the movie that I hadn't seen in 47 years that I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I totally remember the Iron Lung. I remembered him lying in the parking lot. There were just little moments like that. The flags. So 2.5 stars. Don't need to see it again, but I'm glad I finally did see it again. See it again for the last time.
Would this be the first Marvel movie since Jose Ferrer was playing Iron Man?
I did think that too. Oh, Iron Man.
I looked it up and I was like, there's no way I would have known that was Jose Ferrer.
No way.
Well, you don't get a good look at him throughout the
Yeah.
entire film.
Yeah.
He's just filmed at really terrible angles.
Yeah.
And Natasha was like, who the hell would be in an iron lung that big?
But I did laugh when all of a sudden he had a woman next to him in there
Yes.
too. So ridiculous.
And I did like the piano guy. A lot of his stuff I did enjoy.
Oh, that reminds me. The guy who had 6 months left to live.
Yeah.
That was Tom Russian. It looks like that is Tom. Look, he looks exactly like him. If anyone,
I didn't notice that.
Yes, it does look like him. It was not him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, maybe if he was wearing a Nazi uniform, you would have
Yeah.
recognized
A
him.
Connecticut friend, Danny.
Yeah.
No,
Not
Tom
famous,
Russian, not
but-
Tom Patrone.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Russian would also technically be
Tom Patron is the Nazi.
yes, but Tom Russian would also be a Connecticut friend,
Yeah.
just not a Nazi.
But
the
I
other
too
thing
was
is that-
picturing Tom Patron. He
Right.
said, even though I
Yeah.
know Tom Russian as
Right.
well.
Gotcha.
Tom Russian
Sorry, I
would have
missed
had
my
to have not
time.
aged at all between 1976 and today.
And
Doing very well for himself. Exactly.
well, because we only went through a pandemic and not the depression.
Right.
All right. Well, 88 minutes. The Big Bus is not available from the usual streaming services, but it does show up on TCM. My library had the DVD, so I was lucky to watch it. Joel
isn't
probably
it-
has.
I do have it on Blu-ray. One of the reasons I will watch it again is I haven't had the time to sit down and listen to the audio commentary. So,
That I would like to hear.
Yeah.
By whom?
I don't remember.
By, and I looked up the director. I didn't even recognize his name. He did like the Muppet movie the next year.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, well, that was cute. All right. Well, next week we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of From Russia with Love, which actually opened in October 1963 in London, and it didn't even premiere in the colonies till May 1964. Joel, what are you doing?
You go
So
by
we're either
you go by the British opening. That's what we did with.
so then we're a month late,
Yes.
or
Not my
6
fault.
months.
You
early.
make the schedule.
I was just gonna say your brand.
You were the one who said put it here for my.
I didn't say put it here. Well, because we didn't. I forgot about it, and
Hold on,
Yeah.
Joel. This is James Bond #2, right? The second movie.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Joel. So Dr. No, we should have watched in May.
Yes, we should. No,
So
Dr.
we missed
No,
that
60th
one.
was
60th
last
anniversary.
year. It was last year. It opened in Britain last year.
But
60
it opened
years
here
ago.
in May.
We don't go by that. You go by where it opens, when it opens first. That's the
All right,
anniversary.
so then we're way behind on our James Bond 60th anniversaries.
We're behind by a month and a half.
And Dr. No, which we didn't watch last year.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
And then next year we're watching Goldfinger.
Yes. You can figure out when we're actually supposed to watch that. I
well,
believe
now
it's,
I know I'm going to put it on in October when it first premiered.
Are you sure that's when it first premiered?
I looked it up. I don't know. I didn't memorize it all.
So the Big Bus commentary is by film historians Howard S. Berger
I'm
and
reading
Nathaniel
the
Thompson.
thing.
Yeah, well, then it's useless.
It's
They weren't involved.
no, but the historians give really good insight into movies. So
Yeah, that's why we have you here, Joel.
I don't know about that.
For all purposes, you are our historian.
Okay. Well, I didn't learn anything from them because I haven't listened to them yet.
Well, we don't care.
I care.
Goldfinger should be in September.
Aim, did you look up bloopers so we can watch bloopers? That might be fun.
I can't imagine they have blue.
Does it
Yeah.
have bloopers on the DVD?
No.
On the Blu-ray? No.
Nope.
All right, that's it. I'm hoping this is the shortest review we've ever done.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, here you go. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie.
And also with you.
Cut.